Umadevi has completed architect in Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Madurai. She has presented papers at International Joint Studio Venture with Columbia University about resortation of Vaigai River City project. She has received the title of Enthusiastic Participant Award for the consecutive years during academics. Her dissertation project on critical analysis on urban street culture in a mixed-use present is about to publish by Lambert University. She is currently working as a junior architect at 101 Design Studios, which is the green and growing architecture firm handling projects ranging from schools, farmhouses, sports complexes to hotels, malls and office buildings.
Welcome to UGC lecture series. Here I am presenting Professional Practice and Ethics AR 6703, which is it. Now we are going to look into the architectural competitions and more. This is the outline which I am going to present. Importance of the architectural competitions, types of competitions, open, limited, ideas, competitions, single and two-stage competitions, COA guidelines for conducting competitions, international competitions and the case studies. So, importance of architectural competitions. How is it good for the clients? This is the first question which arises when you see the syllabus of architectural competitions in a professional practice, and there will be answers in the future. Decision making from an array. How is it good for the architects and valuable opportunity for the research? Study new building types, explore the possibilities of new technical ideas and greater exposure. How is it good for the promoters? Balance the advantages. So, it gives the promoters a choice from the best viable project with a high standard of variety of approaches, but bringing out the wide range of ideas and the concept and give the promoters the choice of selecting that which fits into his specific requirements. So, explore the hidden talents among younger architects could be the first step into the career. Guidelines of COA protects and safeguards the interest of both the promoters and the competitors, ensuring the promoter a high standard, ensuring the competitors compete on a like condition within the same limitations. COA guidelines lays considerable emphasis on the mandatory requirements of the assessors and the qualifications. The appointment of the assessors should therefore be immediate and first step the moment of the promoter decides to go in for a competitions. The presidents of the Council of Architecture, if so requested by the promoter, can be suggest a panel of names experienced in this type of project proposed. So, there is the responsibilities for the comments approval of the brief competition projects. The assessor may even help to prepare the brief. So, importance of the architectural competitions is the assessors will assist in the preparation and approval of the brief, study and understand the requirement of the local authorities. So, visit and examine the project site if necessary. Advise on the appointment of technical advisors if necessary, finalize the competitions guidelines, prepare the final report. So, appropriateness and inappropriateness of a competition. When the project of a public significance benefits from a wide range of degree of design investigations, be on a significant or unusual side, benefit from a public interest that a competition can generate. Design excellence is of high priority. So, inappropriateness will be the project is required as a matter of expeditions or the urgencies, not possible to appoint in appropriate jury. So, budget is inefficient to cover the total cost of the competitions. Adequate brief is not available. Sponsor is unwilling and unable to ensure the competitions. This is the main thing that will be happening in every competitions. People want to conduct the competitions and attend the competitions on the same hand, but they complain about the time insufficient of the fund and more. So, these are the types of competitions: projects, ideas, open, limited, invited, students, one single stage competition, two stage competitions, product competitions, prototype competitions, developers and architects. There are so many number of competitions. All you students need to do is to attend the competitions and explore yourself to the world. So, project competitions will be lead directly to the erection of the specific projects at defined size. selection of a design solution for the project that is judged to the best way of the competition. And idea competitions will be like help for the projects that are not intended to be built, useful for the exploration of the significant design solutions, can stimulate even the interest of an untried possibilities in such areas as memorials, symbolic architectures, and city planning and urban designs. Subject of these competitions should be carefully chosen, so benefits are limited as the ideas cannot be applied or realized. Examining the fragility is another major issue. So open competitions be like addressed to the entire nation or international architectural community may be entered into any licensed architect. Permits entries for the architectural designers, students or other design professionals provided they associate themselves with an architect. So open competitions are appropriate under the following circumstances. Nature of the project suggests that all of the architects have an equal opportunity to be selected on the basis of design merit. So, the project requires the widest exploration of potential solutions made possible by an open competition. So, limited competitions is what is restrict the submission of entries to a specific set of architects such as those who reside within the specified area. Reasons you know why? Budget restrictions, desire to use local talents, awareness and sensitivity to local and regional styles, small scale projects that requires frequent site inspection. So, there we go about the invited competitions be like paid a fee, commissions or design concepts, and through the recommendations of the qualified jury, the sponsors can choose the most appropriate design for the building its project. So, invited competitions also enable the competing of firms to develop their designs to a greater degree of level. Student competitions be like limit the submissions of the entries to those who are enrolled in the School of Architecture. Winners may earn any special prize such as scholarship, fellowship, travel award or even money reward. One stage competitions be like select a winner and rank other prize winning designs in a single sequence. The majority of design competitions are held in one stage. Since the requirements of the stage designs, submissions can be reduced or expanded in relation to the complexity of the project. For idea competitions and real projects of moderate size, a single design phase is usually sufficient as a test of competition designs. So guys, these are the one stage competitions which you're going to deal about. So, two stage competitions is afford a competitor a chance to develop further their final designs. Then those who architects are invited to participate in the second stage receive compensation. The advantages of holding this two-stage competitions are summarized as it reduces the amount of work required the original first stage submission, thus attracting more interest. It is an excellent process for selecting promising concepts in the final stage that can be further developed in the second. So, it provides an opportunity for the comments by the sponsors, juries and before the start second stage, so the suggestions can be transmitted to the completions before the refinement of the final designs. It permits further level of judgment on the part of the jury, since in the first stage only concepts are sought, which in the second it can be detailedly developed and the concepts are rigorously examined. Two-stage competitions are appropriate for the complete building projects. They encourage architects to undertake a broad exploration for the design concepts in the first stage, which will be requiring a detailed design in the second. So, in the evolution of the complete tradition, formats have been established for the variety of highly specialized projects. So, product competitions be like they are interested in the promotion of a particular type of brands, this will be happening by the sponsors. So, designers may be reluctant to enter such competitions. So, this will be totally held by the designers of specific types. Prototype competitions be like may be sponsored by the corporations interested in a prefabricated of various kinds of structures. Architects may be wary of entering prototypes competitions unless the prize-winning designers are appropriately rewarded and their copyright or patented features adequately protected. So, developers architects competitions include design as one of the factors deserving considerations by a public agency in choosing a development schemes, often at the guaranteed price for a particular parcel of land. Such a competition are fairly managed and judged with all the other aspects of selection kept independent. So, these are the COA guidelines architectural competitions hold. world. The purpose of the COA entering into this is to indicate the principles upon which the competitions will be conducted and the rules which must be observed by the promoter for conducting competitions. So, the code of professional conduct of the COA does not allow architects to give unpaid services in competitions with each other. So, competitive design shall only be submitted through competition organized within the frame of these guidelines. So, there are certain articles to be followed in order to complete the COA guidelines. These are eligibility to the competition. So, participation in any and all competitions shall be open to architects. Those are registered with the Council of Architects, as we read before. So, firms in which all the partners shall be registered with the Council of Architecture under the Architect Act 1972 on the date of announcement of the competition and thereafter. So, these are the main articulations of this Article 1, and Article 2 is the competition. The conditions for the competitors shall be clearly given as conditions based on the guidelines prescribed by the COA, types of the competition, purpose of the competition, and nature of the problem they briefed, and all the practical mandatory requirements by the competitors. So, estimate if the required standard forms issued with the conditions and nature of the prices and name of the assessors, necessary information required for the conducting competition. The competition shall be conducted in English. All the competition designs shall be submitted anonymously, and they forget it is important to discuss about the jury panel. And Article 3 is Board of Assessors. So, these are the all-time include architects who are registered while the Council of Architecture and shall be in a majority at least one. So, prices, this will be the first article. So, no competition shall be conducted without adequate premium. The competition conditions and the media announcement must slate the accounts. So, this copyrights and ownership will be comes as a Article 5. So, this is important to get a patent for your designs even if it is a competition. Article 6 will be the exhibition shall be open to the public free of charge. So, this is like together with the copy of signed report of the Board of Assessor, and this can be displayed to public. So, international competition case studies, here we going to enter. So, rules of these competitions are defined by the organizers of the international designates. Often follow the guidelines provided by the International Union of Architects. Guideline defines roles, responsibilities, the process and the procedures with the competition, and then come for the result. So, provide guidance as possible as the competition types, eligibilities, criteria, jury competitions, and we should check about the jury panels and the participation conditions and the partners, payments, prices, and publications, etc. For example, these are the live examples that was happening around the world. In France, design competitions are compulsory for all the public building exceeding a certain cost. So, in 1956, UNESCO commissioned the International Union of Architects to ensure respect for the international standard in the launch and operation of the international architecture and urban planning competitions. So, the experience and the authority conferred by UIA by UNESCO allows us to serve as a reference in the terms of ethics and prestige in the realm of international architecture and urban planning competitions. So, Sydney Opera House, Australia is also an architectural project which comes under the exhibition of competition projects. So, there is this lot of guys who have done exhibitory architecture under the competition project, which is a successful building even after the competition. So, case studies on the international competition which refers to the professional practice as laid out by the COA and UIA. This is a group assignment where students will be required to go through webs, journals, magazines, get those inspirations, identify the project that were the part of competition and analysis the projects, and finally come across the design with following norms of COA and UIA. Here we are entering into a live case study, which is the international case study example of a competition, which is called Blue Award. It is International Student Competition for the Sustainable Architecture. This is, and competition will be held on previous history before we enter into. In 2009, it was 163 projects from 86 faculties and 49 countries were participating. The first prize was 15,000 euros, and in 2012, 232 projects were be handling and 101 universities were participating with 38 countries along the worldwide. First prize was 20,000 euros that time. In 2014, it was 89 entries, 22 countries and 7 nominees across the 7 countries participated. First prize was 10,000 euros. And here we goes about the Blue Awards. Blue Award is the award and projects in the academic field of architecture and regional planning and urbanism. The economical and cultural social dimensions of the sustainable development should be equal in significance with the classical problems of techniques and functions. The competition is an open invitation to future-oriented and sustainable solution. Yes, the project is about sustainability. So the Blue Award 2014 is making the third appearance as an anonymous international single-phase competition and is intended for the student of architecture, regional planning and urbanism. So this is what a pick from Blue Award 2014. And here are the account of people who are participating for the Blue Award of 2014. And Blue Award 2014 competition is organized by the Vienna University of Technology, the Institute of Architecture and Design, the Department of the Spatial and Sustainable Design, and the Registered Society of the Architecture and Spatial Design. The prize is oversees by the UIA, represented by the President Albert Dubler. Award descriptions. The Blue Award 2014 is making its third appearance as an anonymous and international single-phase competition. So the intention is mainly to create an international network of architecture schools and faculties to have included the topic of sustainability in the teachings. So it is supporting that and intensifying the international exchange between the different faculties and architectural students for developing their innovative and promising proposals in the area of sustainability. So the jury preliminary evaluation was committed to objectively in individual members and being bound to directives. The jury is entitled to decide independently and in all the relevant questions and matters. The jury is obligated to carry out their work objectively and in accordance with the competition guidelines. So the consultants of the jury is not the public. At the jury member, preliminary evaluators as well as any person involved in the administration of the competition are obligated to keep all the information regarding the competition strictly undisclosed until the results of the jury are officially made public. So this is what happened as the jury panel that 2014. Honorary president of the jury was architect Sir Richard Rogers. President of the UIA was architect Albert Dubler. So professors of the architecture in Sweden specialized in sustainability of university professor Dr. Technician Jana Revadian. So these were the jury panels which was so strong enoughly showing that how the competition was hectic over there. And there is no specific design task associated with the Blue Award 2014, but the submission has to be twice in the digital and an analog form. So the presentation is limited with these designation and specification. In the portrait orientation also, the quality of the project they were expecting is about this spatial quality and the presentation quality. And here is the brief. Aim and objective of this Blue Award 2014 goes to: the purpose of the initiative is to expose and promote the efforts in the field of sustainability in the academic and the areas of architecture, regional planning and urbanism, as we already told, in order to give the exposure for the teachers and the faculty and the students of the world level architecture into one called Blue Awards 2014. Considering its economical, cultural and social dimensions, these were treated equally alongside technical and functional issues when solving problems in architecture, regional planning and urbanism. The competition is an open invitation to demonstrate the future-oriented and sustainable solutions. How will our built environment present itself in the coming years? So this was the question poked out when Blue Awards 2014 was out. Preceding the various categories, the Blue Award 2014 wants to the first and foremost award in the commitments of the architecture, social, cultural context. So participant can submit projects in the following 3 categories. There were categories. They are urban development and transformation, landscape development, ecological building and building in existing structure, innovative system and detailed solution. All these categories comes under a roof called sustainability. And category 1, detailed about the urban development and transformation. Yes, emphasis of the category spans from the urban renewal and restructuring the existing city fabric to development of a new housing structure and building technologies. So, this concept deals with the energy of self-sufficient house structure, environmental friendly forms of mobility and new entrepreneurship of open public spaces in the urban areas belong also in the category. The category 2 will be coming as ecological buildings and the building in the existing structures. So, this is also deals with beyond the establishments of themes, projects will be awarded with significantly increasing the average longevity. Category 3 will be innovative systems and detailed solutions. So, this will be more into the technological aspects. The higher technical level of innovation having a sustainable impact on the design architecture. Besides the recognition of a formal quality, the category aims to select projects that focus on the thoughtful choice in the material. So, all these aspects are prerequisites for the development of innovative system. This is the context of incorporating the project's environment and sustainability of the spatial structures. So, interaction with the existing housing and the urban elements were the main motto for obtaining in the context level. Sustainability of the spatial structure will be having the composition orientation of that urban fabric, and then understanding and decoding of that housing will help more about understanding of the spatial structures. Enrichment of the social and cultural environment, whereas like cities, housing communities and buildings not only employ raw materials and energy, they also embed the cultural identity and shape of the daily. So, environmental conscious and suitable application of the materials was incorporation of the renewable raw material and the use of local regional material both as the raw and proceed forms. So, intelligent and efficient use of energy and resources. Designing with the neutral surroundings. These are all the sustainability themes of the project which come upon with the climate protection, comfort and health. This all will be under a roof called sustainability of the project, and these all 8 things should be decoded whatever category you choose and work on your competition. So, innovation, content and development potential of the projects was this. So, here is a case example which is a winning entry of 2014 by these people. The project task was to prepare an urban design proposal with following projects subsequently. So, in Cyprus, the violent scenes of 1974 conflicts occurred recently enough to still be present in the minds of the many Nicotia's residents. So, during the last 40 years, the unoccupied buffer zone has been transformed by ecological system in responses to this. Our design proposal presents in the ecological solution to the architectural problem and petitions the ideas that is the scar can be reborn as a catalyst. So, here is the current attempt to retrieve the division as a fundamental part of the identity of Berlin fallen. These people want to retain the greening the existing division that does not only provide for an appropriate ecological solution but also sustains the line as a viable scar in the city. So, a comparison is drawn to the city of Berlin where the traces of the dividing wall were erased and replaced by mostly intensive architecture. So, here goes the study part begins, and where the city of Berlin was studied and decoded into the needs of sufficient needs like the waters and sustainable solution that can probably given, and then this is the core of stretch where the surplus amount of sources were splendid over the stretch. So, this is the aerial view of our core, and there we go, this is our stretch. This is the stretch where these people taken into the study. So, this part, this whole stretch is the weaving community and which is of further concluded with the project area as this. So, this is the study area where these people have gone into. While decoding this part into this, they have certain project development as this. Transforming this into that is not at all possible, but these guys have done as a project theme. Then Blue Awards, another winning entry is A Taste of the City by these people with task description as what defines as a community, as a specific culture, how people go about their daily lives, their social ways and habits, often as a result of a profession. These aspects determine the any kind of space for living. Site description was situated near the city's tourist network. The project uses a vacant land and infill the development. So, by opening a blocked road, vehicle traffic on a narrow steel running through the site is reduced. The segregation as an increment of work-live space on one side, merging with the existing settlement from the institutional framework on the other, using 200 years of old structures. Since the 17th century, 16 families have been involved in the handloom silk sari weaving craft and have their shape in the neighborhood of Rizori Talab. So the project is based on the study of the day-to-day life of these people manifestations and understood within the configurations of the use of space to propose the international incremental work or live space. So this is the core stretch where the silk weaving people neighborhood is located, and the major site retail recreations were happening there, and the wholesalers were located in these three triangles, and the raw silk handloom centers were in the yellow portions, while this is the routing for their daily wages. And there we go. So the jury statement after looking at their study was, radical economical changes are seen to take place in India and around the world. These modifications are often reflected in the living conditions and the social marketing transfer. The proposal can be seen as a kind of step-by-step guide to a new building home process. So the area will be developed over the time depending upon the income and economic success. It will be combined living. So it is very sensitive approach of handling the working and living areas and around Varanasi, and convince the jury that it will bestow this urban neighborhood with the durable existence into the future. So this is what they have presented as a sketch study after they study. So this is how the weavers community was looking like on their daily basis, what they were doing in the daytime, selling and weaving their things, and during the night time they were drying it up, and from the morning it was drying till the sun. Without sun it need to be dried, and so these people have decided so, and this was the thing happening off site of their house. This is how the buyers they got, this is what they do when they got off, this is how they started to sell it more like advertising and more. You can see the change, and this is how they started construction and living it morally. So this is the basic idea. What they had was a self-sufficient and defendable neighborhood. This is what the brief detailedly expand. So students keep on tracking that these people have solved all the stuffs in the briefs. So self-sufficient and defendable neighborhood was their first need, and these people have satisfied that. And man collecting on the streets to take a break from the work and meet friends. Look at this meeting spot, which is a cutout, and you can see this in the plan. So most powerloom weavers work in the locations behind the closed doors. They need to be dark, they need light, but they don't get the light. So these people have worked on the cuts and outs of the to get more light inside the weaving community. So this is how an old art structure is being retained for the vicinity of this dense plantation and green cover. They didn't spoil any of this old structure, and that defines the sustainability and conservation more. So this is how the sustainability project ends here. They have succeeded in this winning Blue Award. So this is how they have identified the problems sorting out from this study, and the solutions they have given in the hand in hand. So this is how it looks after refining their solutions and problems as a product. So these are the stages they involved at every stage. Stage 1 and stage 2, stage 3 it is. So from this total study, students, we can know like how important the client's architectural competition is in order to upgrade yourself and upgrade the total city. So to explore more about the types of competition, open, limited, ideas competition, single and two-stage competition, some exposure towards the international competitions also. Case study, from the case studies you can understand. The possible outcomes of questions are, what are the types of competitions? What is mean by two-stage competitions? And what is the most recent international competitions you have come across? And which is of like then more explore into the competitions internationally. Thank you.